Independent thoughts, independent life. This is Chad Benson.
We're talking about the effects of the virus on air travel, and in a certain way you could say that the borders are automatically shut down without having to say shut down. To a certain extent, automatically shut down, but it's affecting the airline business as it would, and a lot of people are staying in our country and they're shopping and using our hotels in this country. So from that standpoint, I think probably there's a positive impact.
What are you talking about? Look, and I always look for the positive and stuff. I do. And I know you don't want to be an alarmist, right? But what are you talking about here? Can we just be honest? The coronavirus, it's not a good thing, right? Now, I don't think we should freak out the way a lot of people are. I don't think so. I think there's other things that we should be looking at when it comes to this. How do we mitigate it? Good way for us to look at the way things may happen in the future. But come on. Now, let's talk about the positive, right? Okay, here's the positive. If you have stock in Lysol and toilet paper, you're doing good. Here's the negative. A lot of other stuff, right? And I'm not an alarmist. I'm not worried about it at all. I'm not. But I think the way he's handled this has been kind of it's just not been well. Let's be 100% honest. I know people hate that. I'm going to get blowback from Trump people. How dare you? Why are you talking about? It's just not been done well. Let's be real here. Let's be real. Now, I don't think it should be politicized as far as the virus itself, but you can look at him and say, look, the way that I think you've been handling this, I think you could have done a better job at that. In saying that, do I think the world's coming to an end? No. Do I think tomorrow that we're going to wake up and find that 365 million people have it and that we're going to lose about 1.5 million to 2 million people? I do not think that. Let's keep it real. We've got about 150 cases. Let's say by the end of the weekend we're up at 200 cases. 200 cases by the end of the weekend. Let's just say we're at 200 cases. How many people do we have again? 365? Maybe 385? Maybe 390? I mean, we're going to do a census this year, but that's an ever-changing thing. So let's be real. Let's just say 365 million. So when you look at that compared to the actual population, we could go, oh yeah, let's get a grip here. But the chance to politicize stuff is very real. Trump today was supposed to go to the CDC.
The White House says President Trump will no longer travel to Atlanta today to visit the CDC headquarters. Vice President Pence had said the president was going there today to sign the $8.3 billion federal aid package aimed at combating novel coronavirus. But the White House said in a statement that the president did not want to, quote, interfere with the CDC's mission to protect the health and welfare of their people and the agency. That seems to be a narrow interpretation of the CDC's stated mission to protect the nation from health threats. The White House has not provided any further details on the cancellation of the trip.
Yeah, he's not going. He says he's doing a fine job. Okay, that's fine. I mean, we don't have to make everything, a big to-do, including how he's handling it. Because, we need to do a better job. I think Pence, actually, and I ride Pence all the time because I think Pence he's an okay guy, but I don't think it's I look at him and I think, I don't know if it's stalled big, huge confidence in the nation that Pence, but I think he's taking it serious, and I think they're coming at it in a good way. But we're still far behind, and we need to catch up. Anthony and I were joking about this last night. We're trying to get test kits out to people. South Korea has drive-through testing. You don't have to get out. Like that's, it's that's you just sit back and you're like, oh, good God. Now here's the other thing. What's going on in not only the market, right? The market's going to fluctuate. You're seeing the market just get destroyed, and then one day it rockets like there's no tomorrow. There's volatility. Traders love volatility? Investors love stability. So those are two different things. A trader is somebody who's in it for the short term, needs wide swings to make money. They're not in it. They're not marrying it, right? They're just dating it. An investor is looking at a long-term thing. What you're seeing now are traders in the market. Investors are sitting on the sidelines. So that's why you're getting these wide swings. But what about work? And that's been one of the things, too, because a lot of people are questioning, what about work? What about work? How do you deal with work? Because you're seeing a lot of places who have the opportunity, especially in areas that are infected. Seattle, certain places in California, New York now. If you have the opportunity to stay at home, you do it. But then there's also the situation where, okay, what if you feel like you're sick? Well, first of all, I'm going to tell you this, and I talk about this all the time. If you feel like you're sick and you're actually sick, does it matter if you have the coronavirus or the flu? You're like, well, I think I've got the coronavirus, so I'm staying home. But if I had the flu, I'm definitely going to work. No, you stay home, you boob.
This is a giant experiment. A number of companies in Seattle have told their employees to stay home. Amazon, Facebook, Microsoft, among the companies. And I have heard from a number of business executives who are contemplating the same measures for their companies. That could apply to millions of employees here in the U.S.
And working from home, I will tell you guys, it's a little different. If you not work from home, it's a different thing, right? Because you're like, it always sounds great. And in certain industries, it's no brainer. But when you have a job, like, I worked from home for a long time when I did voiceovers. It was great. I could do whatever I wanted to do and come back, and I'd have to do 2 or 3 voiceovers, and, I'd knock them out and I'd go out and do other things. But if you have a job, sometimes it's tough. It's tough to work from home. So and I think it is an experiment because there's a lot of jobs out there that you can work from home. You can telecommute, and this may be the opportunity that companies are looking for and saying, well, maybe we don't need to always have people here. Maybe they only need to come in 1 day a week, 2 days a week. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Feel free to tweet at me. Good news in the economy, at least for this month. Next month, I think will be a little bit different. But jobs-wise, better than expected. Better than expected. Jobs growth smashed expectations. Up. Unemployment down. Things are doing okay, right? Like they're doing okay, which is, what do I always say with Trump? Best friend, worst enemy. Right now, best friend.
Could the February jobs numbers mark the end of an era? Bankrate's Washington Bureau Chief Mark Hamrick says it's a definite possibility.
This jobs report will almost give us a sense of nostalgia for the way that things might have appeared before the coronavirus outbreak.
He says it could be the first numbers from the Labor Department in a while that won't be impacted by COVID-19. Hamrick says look for a gain of 170,000 jobs with unemployment holding steady at about 3.5%.
Yeah, but then lo and behold, what happens? Jobs come out today, wasn't 170,000. No. 273,000. Almost 100,000 more. That's big. Healthcare obviously had a nice bump, but they revised upward December and January as well. So you're looking at a much bigger job bump here. Next month will be interesting. Next month's going to be very, very interesting in the jobs world. But when you're Trump and you're in the middle of a re-election campaign and you're rolling forward and you're looking and seeing, Trump wants to take on Bernie. He doesn't want Joe. He wants Bernie. He doesn't want Joe. 2 reasons. One, he's not a draw. Joe's kind of tough to fight against in the sense that nobody hates Joe. Right? Nobody has a disdain for Joe. It's just he's not a bad dude. People like Joe. I talked to a lot of Republicans. They're like, I like Joe. He's a good dude. Right? Second thing, the Hunter Biden and the whole Burisma thing, which I won't go into because I could care less what Hunter Biden did. I don't care. That is also something that I don't think he wants coming up, even though he's going to turn it into something and he's going to try to turn it into something. Make no minds about it. He wants Bernie Sanders because Bernie gives him the opportunity to go, hey, I got a roaring economy. I'm kicking ass. This thing's going. This guy's coming in, and all he wants to do is raise your taxes and take all your money and crush the economy. He wants Bernie. The media wants Bernie. Unfortunately, for the media and for Trump, they're not getting Bernie. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show's your Twitter. Feel free to tweet at me. Happy Friday. Hope you're doing well. Active person. Man, I was at it last night. So I got in yesterday at 3:30-ish in the morning, and I got out of here at 9 o'clock last night. I covered the Bernie Sanders rally. And I was just going. And Beat Elite, man, I tell you what, I get up in the morning, I work out hardcore. I work out in the middle of the day sometimes, and I take my Beat Elite 30 minutes before I work out or so. I take it, and away I go. Naturally flavored, naturally sweetened, plant-based. Promotes extended exercise endurance. Improves energy and stamina. It is all of those things. It's fast-acting, which I love. And so what it does is it promotes improved energy through oxygen efficiency during the exercise or activity. So whether you're working out, like you're hitting the weights or stuff like that, you're swimming, you're playing soccer like me, whatever it is, you will feel the difference for sure. So do what I did. Take your game and your workout to the next level with Beat Elite. Go to livehuman.com/Chad. Save 20% off your first purchase. That's livehuman.com/Chad. 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 Chad Benson Show.
You go, boy.
This isn't about right or left. This is just about right and wrong.
Right you are, Chad. The Chad Benson Show.
But you see it as a possibility if he wants to spend $1 billion beating this guy, he could do it.
Absolutely. Somebody tweeted recently that actually with the money he spent, he could have given every American $1 million.
I've got it. Let's put it up on the screen. When I read it tonight on social media, it kind of all became clear. Bloomberg spent $500 million on ads. U.S. population, 327 million. Don't tell us if you're ahead of us on the math. He could have given each American $1 million and have had lunch money left over. It's an incredible way of putting it.
It's an incredible way of putting it. It's true. It's disturbing. It does suggest, what we're talking about here, which is there's too much money in politics. And it makes it difficult because
First of all, I'm going to break everything down. Okay. I want you guys to understand this. Many of you out there who are not stupid, you get it. Many of you. But for the rest of you, because I've had people regurgitate this to me over, 3 or 4 days about the amount of money he spent, what could have been done with that money. If he gave everybody in America the money he spent, so he breaks it up evenly and gives everybody in America the money he spent on his campaign, he could get everybody in America not $1 million, $1.37. Oh, yeah. He could have given 500 people $1 million. But $1.37. We have 365 million people in America. Oh, yeah. Yeah, stupid. Those people are stupid. They are stupid. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show's your Twitter. Like, nobody picks this up. You're in a room full of people, but because you want to be woke, you run with it? I mean, it's insane. Like, that's, and she was like, yeah, we could do it. He could have done it. No. It's just amazing. And they're just like, he's there. It's like, it really puts it in perspective. No, let me put it in other perspective. $1.37. Does that make it feel like you, oh, God. Public education. Just throwing it out there. Oh, Chad, you're so mean. You're such a jerk face. I hate you. I had that regurgitated to me so many times yesterday. And look, the money's absurd. Let's not pretend that the money's not absurd. But it's his money. Right? I mean, it's his money. If he wants to go outside and burn it, who cares? It's his money. He made it. He's paid his taxes on it. He can do whatever he wants. And yes, I do think he's going to throw money at Joe in different PACs. And I think a lot of what he's going to do is he's made this thing personal, right? He ran because he didn't like Trump. And he ran because he doesn't want to see what Bernie has to offer. I think he's comfortable knowing Bernie's probably not going to be that person. So do I think that he'll go out? He could go out tomorrow, and I think he's going to spend $500 million to $1 billion on ads, not so much pro-Biden, but anti-Trump. I mean, remember the whole Vegas thing. So they had the big debate in Vegas, and, they had the caucus in Nevada. But when Trump flew into Vegas, Bloomberg bought billboards. And when Trump was driving into where he was going to go give his rally, there were billboards along the way that say Trump cheats at golf, Trump's a fat, and he likes, this, and he loves burnt steaks. And Trump is all this weird stuff that you're just like, what's that for? Well, that's him being a child. So, yeah, but let's rephrase it again. If Michael Bloomberg gave everybody in America the money he spent on the campaign that he tried to run that was a waste of that money, he would not be able to give everybody $1 million. It would be $1.37. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show's your Twitter. You can tweet at me. You can text the program as well. Could Joe unite the country? It's an interesting question. Because, we are not very united. And I'll tell you how Joe may be able to unite the country. And it's interesting, too. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. $1.37. Ha! Chad Benson Show.
Chad Benson Show.
Independent thoughts, independent life. This is Chad Benson.
I provoke strong opinions. I didn't grow up thinking about going into politics, but much to my surprise, was elected president of the Young Republicans. I got into law school. I thought I'm going to try to make a difference in people's lives.
She was different than anybody I ever met. I said, I really want to marry you, but you shouldn't marry me.
There is a set of expectations
about
a first lady. I violated them from the very beginning.
This is radical feminism.
Hillary's polarizing.
Emails blew up.
Bang. It played into all of the suspicions. She's so sketchy. Cold. You get scarred up a little bit.
Could actually be crazy.
So that debuts today. That's the Hillary doc. But Bill, a lot of Bill in it. Talks about, struggles with Monica. He was stressed. Man, I was stressed out. Have you met Hillary? She stressed the hell out of anybody. So I was really stressed out. And there was this young girl, she unstressed me. Oh, Chad, you're a jerk. Just saying. I've seen some of it. I have to be honest with you. She's very closed up. You didn't think about this, right? Like, from a normal person's perspective, take away the politics of it all. She has lost touch with reality. And I'm not talking about mental capacity. You still don't live in a regular world. I always hear people, well, if we were regular, they're not regular people. Like, Trump's kids aren't regular people, right? Trump's not a regular person. Hillary's not regular. You and I are regular, right? But stars aren't regular, right? Like, LeBron's not a regular dude. He's not. I mean, yes, he's because of his fame and all that. He's just not a regular cat. Hillary, yeah, she lost touch with it. You know, when you don't drive a car for 20 or 30 years, you lose touch. Like the Queen's not regular. Like that's no, I'm not. Yeah, she's not. She's not regular. So she lost touch in a lot of ways, and I think you watch it and you sit there, and if you're somebody who is, first of all, I'm not even talking about neutral. You could be a Republican. You can have disdain. You watch it. I think you understand a little bit more. It's like after Romney lost the election, there was a documentary that came out after him. His son's like best friend documented all of the stuff behind the scenes in the run up to the election, including the election night. And when you watch it, you get a better perspective. And sometimes you think, where was that person? You know, the one thing about Trump is, I think what you see in front of the cameras, what you get behind the cameras. Right? I'm pretty sure that's it. With a lot of these people, I don't think they don't know anymore. Right? What you see in front is, what you see behind. What do you see? What am I supposed to be? And I think after a while, you start to lose touch with who you really are. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Feel free to tweet at us. So you're down to 2 now, right? You're down to 2. You've got Bernie and Joe.
Everybody was totally convinced that Castro was the worst guy in the world. They forgot that he educated their kids, gave them health care, totally transformed the society.
All right, Chuck.
It's Chris, but anyway.
Chris. I just did Chris. I just did Chuck.
China is, if I'm not mistaken, they have made more progress in addressing extreme poverty than any country in the history of civilization.
Here in the state of South Carolina,
Nevada,
and Des Moines, in the state of Iowa.
For some reason or other, being very excited when Fidel Castro made the revolution in Cuba.
But exponentially better.
When Fidel Castro came into office, you know what he did? He had a massive literacy program. Is that a bad thing?
I got hairy legs.
In Moscow, people here also were extremely impressed by their public transportation system.
Mom, God rest her soul, although your mom's still alive.
We're a compassionate society.
No, we're not a compassionate society.
Ever regret labeling yourself a democratic socialist?
No, I am what I am.
We hold these truths to be self-evident. Men and women created by you know the thing.
you know the thing. The thing with it, you get it. You know the thing. You know what I'm talking about. You guys. So those are the last 2. And I know I'm going to get somebody who goes, what about Tulsi? Right? Look, God bless Tulsi. I'm going to throw it isn't happening. It isn't happening. So God bless her, but it isn't happening for her. So you're down to 2. 2. One is as divisive and as polarizing as the guy that's in the White House now. And the other one, in a very weird way, if he was to become president, could unite the country. You know how? Because he's boring. He doesn't evoke an emotion from people. He doesn't. He's just boring. Right now, when you have the media would love to see King Kong versus Godzilla. And that's Bernie versus Trump. And Trump would love to see Bernie, right? Because Trump has all the answers to Bernie's questions. And that answer is socialism, high taxes. You get where you're going with that. Also very polarizing, Bernie. I mean, you watch him, and he's a one-trick pony, comes out, does his thing, but he's polarizing as well. And it's very interesting. Joe's boring, right? Minus his gaffes. He's just kind of there. What's that mean? Well, eventually the dumpster fire is going to be extinguished, which is politics. And everybody's going to stop looking at it, and they're going to go on about their business. And through boredom, through no controversies, people start to get back to their lives where they're not fighting on Twitter anymore. Oh, you'll still have the fringe extremes. Those aren't going anywhere. But the average people just won't pay the attention that they give people now, right? Everybody will go on about their business. And in a weird way, that's how this country will get united again. When somebody who comes in who isn't really a person that evokes a lot of emotion from either side, you could take them or leave them. They're going to paint Joe as this crazy lunatic. I mean, I've even seen it the other day where they were trying to, he's further left than Bernie. Come on, guys. Let's just slow our roll. He's not further left than Bernie. The only person further left than Bernie that I see in modern politics is AOC. But outside of that, no. But through boredom, we'll stop paying attention to the dumpster fire. And we'll start going and talking about other things. Those other things that have nothing to do with politics. Kids, life, work, vacation, weekends, movies. I don't know what the media is going to do. Because the media, like Bernie comes out all the time and attacks him. The media wants you to win, Bernie, because you are excitement, because you'll rile up the other side. Joe's not. I said it yesterday. I'll say it again. Joe's meatloaf, right? He's mashed potatoes. He's comfort food. He's just going and getting yourself a nice meal that you recognize, right? He's your favorite pair of pants. He's not exciting. He's not a flashy suit. And because of stuff like that, yeah, guess what happened? Joe becomes less polarizing. And through boredom, we move on to other things. And I think that's the reality of if you want to unite this country, if that's really the goal, which I don't think people, to be honest, the higher ups aren't interested in that. They like keeping their bases hungry. They want to give them just enough to keep them going and rile up. But for the average person, us exhausted majority, if you're to think, how could we unite this country? It's going to happen through boredom. It is. It's going to happen through sheer boredom in politics. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Feel free to tweet at me. You can text the program as well. Bernie. What's he going to do with Elizabeth? That's the other big question right now. He needs, it's funny. Elizabeth is in the best position she's ever been in the history of her political career. She's never been in a better position because she's got everything in front of her. She's got two people fighting over her, two campaigns that are last standing. One of them is her friend. They say so, but they're friends. She's friends with both of them, but one of them is somebody who I think she probably at this moment in time agrees with a bit more, which is Bernie. And then the other side, you have the establishment, which she's really a part of. And behind the scenes, guess who's going to cut the best deal is the person that she's going to choose. Bernie's trying hard.
I would simply say to her supporters out there, of whom there are millions, we are opening the door to you. We love you to come on board.
Yeah. But Bernie, what are you offering? That's the big thing. Here's what the Democratic establishment machine can offer her. Opportunity. They can make her a star. They can say, Chuck's getting a little old. Oh, yeah? Yeah. Chuck is getting a bit old. That's interesting. They can let her kind of punch her own ticket. It's not going to be vice president. Both of these guys have to go with somebody younger and probably a person of color to appease their base. Is it Stacey Abrams? Is it Kamala Harris? right? And Jim Clyburn is really pushing really pushing Biden in certain areas. And I think he's going to have a lot of say in that, as is the establishment. But she will be able to be somewhat of influence, and that is leadership. Given her the opportunity to have leadership. Is there a place in the cabinet for her? Yeah, but what would you rather be? Would you rather be the head of the Senate, or would you rather have a cabinet position? Those are the things. Bernie can offer potentially a cabinet position, and he can talk about some other stuff, but the establishment side can offer things that Bernie's not going to be able to. And she's got her feet in both worlds. So if I'm her, I'm going to take my time. By time, I mean, the next 72 hours or so, maybe the next week. I don't think it's going to get out of hand. She may wait till Wednesday because we have big things, coming on Tuesday. So she may wait till Wednesday or Wednesday morning or Tuesday, Tuesday night. But she's got this opportunity now. So when you've got that kind of chip in the game, you might want to sit back and enjoy it. Enjoy the courting, right? Who doesn't want that? It's like an athlete that's become a free agent. And everybody's flying you around, and they're asking you to come to speak, and they're asking you, hey, we want to show you all the town. We're going to give you all these kind of things. They're courting her. She might as well enjoy it. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Computer systems, your car, those are new. Over the last several years, it's become everything. It's a standard. I've got two cars. I got an older car that I love to drive everywhere because I put miles on it. It's a great car. It's comfortable for me. And I got a newer car that I love to drive. One's got the computers. The other doesn't. CarShield covers both. CarShield is affordable protection plan starting as low as $99 a month for anything that you need on your car to protect your car in the case of the inevitable. Not the what if, but the inevitable, because over time something's going to go wrong because that's just the odds. Even though cars are lasting longer and better, it's still great to have that backup plan. That's where CarShield comes in. 24/7 roadside assistance. A rental car for free while your car's in the shop. The shop is the shop that you choose. It's simple and easy. Again, rates as low as $99 a month. You got nothing to lose. Get covered by CarShield Day. Call them. Explain to them exactly what you're looking for. They've got a plan and a price point that's right for you. 800-CAR-6000. Mention code Benson. Visit carshield.com and use code Benson. Saves you 10% right there. 800-CAR-6000. Use code Benson and save 10%. Or carshield.com. Code Benson saves you 10%. A deductible may apply. Chad Benson Show.
I, you, he, she, it. Lucy is a girl.
Point of personal privilege, please do not use gendered language to address everyone.
Shut up, boo. Ain't nobody got time for that.
This is the Chad Benson Show.
It's a wizard step.
Some magical animated elves expected to top the box office this weekend. Onward, the latest film from Disney Pixar, tracking to open in the $40 to $50 million range. That would easily be enough for first place. Onward is the story of two brothers who get a magical chance to spend one last day with their dad. Died when they were young. The brothers in the movie are voiced by Chris Pratt and Spider-Man star Tom Holland. Also opening, Ben Affleck's basketball drama The Way Back, looking at $5 to $10 million.
Yeah, I'm going to go see Onward this weekend. I'm going to see Jack. We're going to have a weekend of fun. He's got a football game tonight, a little scrimmage with his team. We're going to go see a movie tomorrow, relax and enjoy ourselves, and we're going to do all we can to avoid the coronavirus.
We may go. There was, they thought there was a problem at CDC with somebody that.
That is Trump. Trump was supposed to go to the CDC. Then he wasn't going to go to the CDC. Now he may go to the CDC. So you may go?
We may go. There was, they thought there was a problem at CDC with somebody that had the virus. It turned out negative, so we're seeing if we can do it.
Okay. So he signed the $8.3 billion funding for the emergency funding for the coronavirus. So he wasn't going to go, then he was going to go, and then he wasn't. Now he may go. Okay. It's crazy, this whole coronavirus. People are like, you're so casual about it. I'm like, well, I don't know what to do. Do you freak out? I mean, do you find, are you guys finding yourself, you're washing your hands more? Are you doing things? Are you thinking about touching the doorknob? Oh, I shouldn't touch the door. I mean, are there things you're doing? And remember, all of that stuff that you do, everything you put your hand on a whole night, on average, we touch our face 23 times an hour. Sometimes because it's a comfort thing. Sometimes because it eases anxiety, and sometimes it's just, you got an itch or whatever. So on average, though, we touch our face 23 times an hour. And that's the exposure side of things. So are you doing anything different? Right? You're hearing about there's a run on condoms because people who are in elevators or they've run out of rubber gloves and they're using them on their face. It's like so ridiculous. It is. But are you changing your life? I think that's a very fair question. What have you done to change your life? You washing your hands longer? Right? Are you using sanitizer more? What are you doing? Are you avoiding people and crowds altogether? 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Feel free to tweet at me. You know what I'm doing? I'm running head on into it. We'll play the odds that way. Chad Benson Show.
This is the Chad Benson Show. Independent thoughts, independent life. This is Chad Benson.
We might be changing phases now from trying to contain or stop or prevent this outbreak to mitigate or slowing its spread. So things like school closings, canceling large gatherings, telework or teleschooling if possible. These measures not only protect the individual, but they potentially protect the most vulnerable, which is the elderly and older population.
Yes, coronavirus everywhere. I mean, right now, 14 dead, 235 people have it. By tomorrow, it's over. Chad, you're not taking it serious. I take it serious. I ask the question, and I'll continue to ask. What have you done different? I mean, are you doing things differently? Are you avoiding crowded places? Are you not going to sporting events or movies? Are you, they canceled the Ultra Festival, and these are fair questions to ask. But are you worried you're going to die from it? Are you worried that you're going to perish? Do you find yourself washing your hands longer? Yeah. And look, Trump, I think, hasn't handled this thing very well, right? And I know everybody gets all upset. All the Trump people out there get all butthurt when I say that. I just don't think he has. But I don't think it's been an unmitigated disaster like some people make it out to be. I just think he could have done a better job. And he kind of poo-poos some of it as if it's not a big deal. And it's a big deal. We should worry about the elderly. We should put plans in motion, not just for now, but for the next one that comes, so we're better prepared for it. All of those things are very real, but the flu still casts a wider net, right? And that's something we need to be aware of. Because while right now we have, to be honest, it's 147, it's 205, it's still in the low hundreds of people that are affected. And the majority of people that have passed away because of it were not healthy people. They were elderly with underlying medical conditions. And the other day I was talking to Arizona Governor Jan Brewer, or former governor, and I said, because she was when she was governor, she had the H1N1, and I said, how do you you don't want to be alarming, but you want to alert people. How do you walk that line? Because that's a fine line to walk, where you want people to be cautious and you want to alert them to things, but you don't want to underplay it, but you don't want to overplay it. And it's tough in this day and age, right? Because in this day and age of politics, you get the underplayed and the overplayed in this. Underplayed.
We're talking about the effects of the virus on air travel, and in a certain way, you could say that the borders are automatically shut down without having to say shut down. To a certain extent, automatically shut down, but it's affecting the airline business as it would, and a lot of people are staying in our country and they're shopping and using our hotels in this country. So from that standpoint, I think probably there's a positive impact.
Okay. That's, to me, a little underplayed right there. Kids? Little overplayed.
An incompetent administration. And an incompetent administration is like its own natural disaster. When you've got a president who engages in magical thinking and says, no, he decided there were only 15 cases and they would all be gone by April. And whatever it is he decides, my gosh, it almost doesn't matter what he decides. The point is he's not listening to the scientists. He's not listening to the experts. And then he picks Mike Pence.
Underplayed, overplayed. Somewhere in the middle is balance. We need to be vigilant in trying to combat this thing and to slow the spread. But we need to be real that if you do get it, 80% of people show mild symptoms like a light flu or a cold, and not alarm people where, I mean, yeah, you can't buy toilet paper, Lysol anywhere. I mean, we're the studio I'm out of, they have several studios across the country and they're having to buy stuff for all of the other, for Salt Lake City and Seattle because they can't get it. So where's the reality? Because we're also, we can talk ourselves into stuff, right? So it's the whole WebMD thing. You go onto WebMD and whatever's on there, you've got it. Right? Self-fulfilling prophecy. So, underwhelming, overwhelming, somewhere in the middle is the right response. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Today, good news. If you're Trump, smile on your face. They expected, 175,000 jobs. They created 273,000. Economy still seems to be roaring. But I temper that with the reality of next month will be different.
If you think about when it started to hit, might have been the last week of February, a little bit of it started to hit the U.S. or things started to get canceled, but these jobs are already in place. So it's the March report will truly start to see some of this.
Yeah, and what's that look like in the March report, right? And what's that look like? Healthcare is doing all right. There's a lot of places that are doing okay. Government will always do okay. But those other jobs that are out there that, you know, like the airline industry is just getting thumped. I mean, because nobody's traveling. You can get great deals. Cruises and airlines, kids. If you're looking to go on a cruise or take a flight, now's your time. Now is your time. Now, you may get on that cruise and think it's a 3-day cruise, find out it's a 2-week cruise. There's that. And in your 2-week cruise, you're going to be in your room the entire time. That's a possibility. Right? So it's crazy, though, to watch. But good report. Next month will be telling, because if it is even close to where the experts think it's going to be, jobs-wise, and what they predict, that just shows you how baked in the strength of this economy is at this moment in time. Is it there? I don't know. We'll find out. But if you're Trump today, you got to have a little bit of a smile on your face, because they thought we were going to do how much? And we did what? Oh, well, that's good. That's good. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Feel free to tweet at me. Love hearing from you. All that's left is 2. You've got Bernie. You've got Joe. Warren dropped out yesterday, as we all know.
I will not be running for president in 2020.
No.
But I guarantee I will stay in the fight for the hardworking folks across this country who've gotten the short end of the stick over and over. That's been the fight of my life, and it will continue.
Has that been the fight of your life? Has that really been the fight of your life? I like that. It's been the fight of my life. So she's out. And she's got political poker chips. She's playing with house money. They're both going to court her, right? They're both going to do all they can. One side can offer more. I think one side she leans more to one side in the Bernie world, at least at this moment in time. I mean, I don't know how real that is, because remember, at my age, she was a Republican, and then she became a Democrat, and then she became uber progressive. So I don't know. So how real is that for her and their friendship? The other side, I think she's closer with Bernie, but I believe that there's also this establishment, this machine that can offer things that Bernie can't offer her, right? Bernie can offer potentially a cabinet position. He's not going to offer a VP. He's not. I don't see that happening in any way, shape, or form. Neither of them. They've got to go with somebody younger. Oh, Chad. No, it's just the reality of it all. What Joe can offer is a cabinet position, but he's got the establishment where they can offer her things that Bernie's not going to be able to. They can offer her leadership inside of the Democratic Party. They can offer her leadership across the board in the Democratic Party. They can go to her and say, maybe you're just right behind Schumer, right? Poor Steny Hoyer. And all these other people that have waited their years behind the likes of Nancy Pelosi and the Chuck Schumers of the world. Just, but yeah, maybe we'll put you second or third in charge. There's things that they can offer that Bernie's not going to be able to. So you've got some loyalty, and I think you've got more of a pull on the political spectrum towards a Bernie. But at the same time, you have some loyalty to the establishment that you've been a part of and that you're much closer to than Bernie is. And they can offer something to you that Bernie, because you've got to weigh your options too. You're looking at it and you're saying, can Bernie even win this? Because if he can't win this, me throwing my weight behind him is for naught. It won't have the same oomph if he drops out and it's Joe, and then I say, well, we all get on Joe's bandwagon. By then, I've lost my opportunity to capitalize. So she's going to take a couple days. I think a lot of people were surprised she didn't come out yesterday and endorse Bernie. And I don't know how much of an endorsement that really does, because I think Bernie's the draw for a younger generation. And she has some of what Bernie needs, which is women, especially, white, educated, suburban women. But they're turned off by his revolutionary, screams. People are leaving that. So she's going to struggle to, I think, convince a lot of people to head towards his direction. He'll get some, but I think a lot of other ones will head towards Joe. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Beat Elite. Beat Elite. Every morning I wake up, try to work out. If I don't, I work out in the evening or even middays. One thing I do, the first thing I do before I ever get out there, maybe one of the most important things I do, whether I'm playing soccer or doing a workout, about 20, 30 minutes before I take my Beat Elite. 4 ounces of water, a little bit of powder, away I go. Naturally flavored. Plant-based, naturally sweetened. It promotes, Beat Elite does, energy and oxygen efficiency throughout the body, and that's great, especially when you're exercising, or like me, I exercise some days I play soccer. It is just incredible. It really is, and it's fast-acting. Again, about 20, 30 minutes before, take it, and you'll feel the difference. You really will. It is great. You hear me go, go, go. I work out. I try to take care of myself as best as possible, and I look for all the edges I can give myself, even in just a workout or whether I'm playing soccer, and that's where Beat Elite comes in. Do what I did. Take your workout or your game to the next level with Beat Elite. Go to livehuman.com/Chad. Save 20% right there. That's livehuman.com/Chad. livehuman.com/Chad. Save yourself 20%. At Chad Benson Show, Twitter, ChadBenson. Little what's trending. And then Larry the Cable Guy is going to join the program. What? Chad Benson Show.
Set Chad straight. Text the show, 323-538-2423. That's 323-538-CHAD. Someone has to do it. Might as well be you. The Chad Benson Show.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Ignition. Liftoff.
Now it's time to find out what's trending. What's trending? Yeah, what does that mean? I mean something, right? Like it's trending on the old internet. What's trending? Stuff. Lots of stuff. Nathaniel Woods, Alabama, executed Nathaniel Woods. A lot of people were calling for there to be a stay of execution after the person who was with him at the time confessed to being the shooter, but they went and executed him anyway. He never pulled the trigger. The prosecutor said he was as guilty as the man who did it. And so he was executed. He was there. In the commission of the crime, he was part of that. He may not have pulled the trigger, but he was part of the plan. He was part of the whole thing. He was there. But he didn't pull the trigger. Alabama executed him. Coronavirus in Maryland. That's trending big time. It's funny. It's like the coronavirus is always trending. Do you think the coronavirus knows it's trending? You're like, hey, guys, guess what? We're on Twitter. We're trending. We're on Google. No way. Yeah, totally. It's awesome. This is great. What are they saying? Oh, they're not saying good things about us. No. Yeah. We're getting bad reviews. Super. No. Yes. Yes. Head on over to Twitter. Brian Williams is trending. We'll talk about that in a minute. He's fun and bad at math. And other things. Remember the Alamo trending? Absolutely. Employee Appreciation Day. Appreciate your employees. So, I don't like Employee Appreciation Day. Here's your paycheck. Is that appreciation? I mean, you give everybody an attaboy when you're supposed to. But jobs report good today. International Women's Day. Growing. Rest in peace, Nate Woods. Interesting. This is interesting about that. Again, here was a guy who was a part of something. Right? And he wasn't an innocent man. Let's it's so funny. The left and the right battle it out over this, and it's the way that there was one tweet that said something like, pro-life Christians are silent. You can be pro-death penalty, pro-gun, pro-war, pro-healthcare repeal, pro-police murder of unarmed blacks, and still profusely call yourself pro-life. And I sat there and I think to myself, well, again, he wasn't an innocent man, but he didn't pull the trigger. But he was there in the commission of a crime and what took place. Now, we can argue all day that he didn't deserve the death penalty based on the fact that he had absolutely crappy representation. Didn't understand the plea deal that was offered to him. So those are fair arguments to have. But, it's crazy, right? The same people that are talking about we need to forgive. If you tweet something wrong, they want to cancel your life forever. Isn't that weird? Oh, hypocrisy lives everywhere, kids. Larry the Cable Guy, he's straight ahead. Chad Benson Show.
The Chad Benson Show.
Independent thoughts, independent life. This is Chad Benson.
You've seen him on television. You've watched his comedy. You may have even seen him golf, which I enjoy. Larry the Cable Guy is joining us right now. Larry, appreciate you taking time to come on here. And how's the comedy world going?
I don't know. I play golf more than I do comedy.
You love golf, don't you?
Boy, I tell you what, I used to hate golf, and now I love it to death. You know, did you see my bank shot at Pebble Beach a couple weeks ago?
Yeah, I was watching everybody, man. I was like, dude, I love seeing you out there and playing and all of them. Tony Romo's a hell of a golfer, too. But a lot of people don't know who really golfs. And, man, some of these guys take it super serious.
Well, that's the thing. I go, look, it's all about, when they have these Pro-Am charity events, it's all about raising money for kids and projects they have in the area. And, you know, golf, a lot of people don't know this, but through these tournaments, golf is the number one charitable organization in sports. Golf has given over $3 billion to communities across the United States. With their awesome charity and press. So that's why they're fun to play in, and some are good, some are bad. I'm the only person, by the way, in the history of golf to ever appear on the Golf Channel and Court TV on the same day.
That's fantastic. Congratulations on that. By the way, people don't know you're a lefty as well. A little bit of Phil Mickelson with that bank shot.
That's right. You know, he thought that seventh hole he had was good. He didn't see mine. But, you know, I golf with him. We go to the range and hit on the range. But here's the thing about Phil. He's not a real lefty. He's right-handed, so he does not have the quirks that a real bona fide lefty has. So I don't know. He's not, in my book, he's not a real, I love him to death, but he's not a real lefty. I'm a real lefty. I do everything left-handed. He's actually right-handed.
Are you more of a Bubba fan, Bubba Watson?
You know what? I'm a Boo Wixley fan.
Oh, Boo. Love me some Boo.
Yeah, I love Boo. Boo's the one that got me into golf and got me one of my first sets of clubs, and I used to play in his golf tournament down there. So I'm a big fan of Boo. But I've enjoyed it. I enjoy playing it, and it's a fun sport, especially when you get older and you get out of shape and you can't play your favorite sports like baseball. You know, I used to love baseball, play softball. I can't get down on a grounder no more, but I can. At least in golf, you can still every now and then make a shot that a pro can make. So there you go.
Talking to Larry the Cable Guy is going to be out here. A couple shows, 8 p.m., 10:30 p.m., Friday, March 20th at the Gila River Hotel and Casino. All right, so here we go. You're rocking and rolling in the world of comedy. You started out just calling into radio shows. You built yourself this amazing thing. Comedy's changed over the last couple decades. Political correctness has come in. How is it in this day and age where, you know, even touching something that you would think is a benign subject that nobody would really care about can backfire?
Well, you know, there's still some of us out there that still do comedy like we want to do comedy. And, you know, I'm glad Chappelle came out and did his special because he's actually somebody that the media liked. You know, there's a lot of us out there the media didn't like, but we've always done great and packed out theaters and arenas. You know what? I said a long time ago that political correctness is going to kill the field of comedy. You know, there's been a couple of comedians in Canada that have already been sued because somebody was offended. Hopefully that doesn't come to the United States. You know what? I've just always done comedy like this. Look, if you like a comedian, go see the comedian. If you don't like the comedian, don't go see the comedian. I've never figured out why people can't just, you know, back in the day, you used to go see a comedian and you would leave the show and either say, boy, that guy is great, I'd like to see him again, or buy a CD. Or you would say, boy, that guy sucked, I could care less about seeing that guy again. Now you got people going, not only did that guy stink, I'm going to sue and make sure he can't ever do stand-up again.
Yeah, that's insane. That is, it's crazy.
It is a fourth grade mentality. So, you know, there's still a lot of us that don't care. We go out, we do our jokes, and we do it like it always used to be. If you don't like it, don't go to the show. If you like it, then go to the show. I mean, it's a free country. There's different kinds of sodas and beers, and you like a beer, you buy the beer. You don't like it, then you don't drink it. You don't call them up and threaten to put them out of business because it doesn't taste good to you. I mean, it's the craziest thing I've ever seen in my life, but it hasn't. You know what? My crowds are awesome, and it doesn't affect the way I do anything. I'm still gonna, if I find it funny and I think my crowds are gonna find it funny, then I'll do it. Now, I will say, when I first started doing stand-up, I was single and I wasn't married and I didn't have kids, and I did jokes that I thought were funny, and but then I got married, and of course my act changed a little bit. Then I got kids, and when you get kids, a lot of things change. So, the older I get, and the more I think about it, when you're young and stupid and you say anything you want, then you get older and you have kids and you think about things you did and you go, you know what, I'm not going to do that joke, and I'm not going to do jokes like this anymore. I'm not going to, and just because, I got kids and now I understand certain things that I didn't understand. I mean, I get that kind of stuff, but, comedy is a place to go and sit and enjoy a laugh.
Yeah, absolutely. And we don't do that enough anymore.
No, you don't. And it just takes all that pressure off. Doctors prescribe people sometimes, hey, go have some laughs, man. The best thing for you today is just to go and let it out and have some laughs. And that's throughout the decades what comedy's always been for. But I'm with you. The political correctness, it's ruined so many things in our society. I hope it doesn't seep into comedy, and there are still a bunch of us out there that do comedy, and we could care less about who likes it and who doesn't, because we are free Americans, and we do our comedy under the guise of freedom. And the old adage, if you don't like something, then just don't participate in it and don't buy their album.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Talking to Larry the Cable Guys. So let me ask you a question. Here we are in the world of, you've been doing this a long time. When did you know, Larry, that what? I've made it, right? Because I always ask people, because you hear stories about Eddie Murphy saying it wasn't until he did Nutty Professor 2 that he realized that he had made it. He was always waiting for that. You didn't make it. You got to go to a real job situation. When did you know you'd made it?
I would say when the first Cars movie came out. And I didn't even realize at the time how huge those were when I did it. But that's when I realized, wow, this is really, because that was even a level above everything else. I mean, here I'd been touring and I'd been doing arenas and selling out, doing 12,000 people a night. But everything's so quick. You go in, you do the show, you get on the bus, you go to the next town. I didn't really understand. I mean, I knew I was doing good, but I didn't really understand it, But I knew we were doing really well and we were getting successful. But when the movie Cars came out, my voice came on, and it was a major motion picture, and they had that huge premiere at the Charlotte Motor Speedway, and then John Lasseter wanted me to MC the show, and I go up there and I'm introducing Paul Newman and Chuck Berry, and at that minute, that's when I said, wow, this is really crazy. So I guess when Cars came out, everything else just happened so fast. It was a whirlwind. But when Cars came out, I had a chance to actually, just sit back and watch it materialize. And so I would say that was probably the moment. But I will say something that's crazy. When I bought Steve Martin's book on comedy, he said the one thing that he wishes he would have done in his career was enjoy his stand-up career, because it was a whirlwind to him, and he'd only done it for a year and a half at the most, doing arenas, and then he went on to movies. And I looked, he had his date book in his book and showed what he was doing and the numbers that he was doing. And it was just like looking at my own schedule. I worked every single one of those arenas that he had in that book with the same amount of crowds. And it was just really cool to see. And so it's been a lot of fun, but I would say those Cars movies, that's when I knew I'd hit the pinnacle, because you thought doing the arenas was one level, but by gosh, here came these big Hollywood Pixar Cars movies. That was a whole nother level above that level. So yeah. I thought that's pretty much about as high as you can get.
That's awesome. Larry the Cable Guy. Last question. Appreciate you coming on. In a world of crazy political, obviously you're in the entertainment field. I have a lot of friends. I grew up in Los Angeles. I have a lot of friends who are actors, who are directors, who are producers. We differ politically. You and Louis Black are you guys were tight. Are you still tight?
Well, we weren't. Look, Louis Black and I were really good friends. Louis Black and I used to run into each other on the road all the time. We had a lot of the same friends, and he was just a really good guy. The reason I liked Louis and Louis liked me was we loved to laugh and we loved comedy, and I wanted him to write the foreword to my book, because it's almost like if you don't believe somebody if somebody is politically opposite you, that you can't be friends with them and you have to hate them. And I wanted him to do my book, because in the comedy world, we all have a lot of different political views, but we don't hate each other. And I thought he was the perfect guy, because I'm a real big conservative and he's a big liberal. And or as he would say, a free thinker. And so I thought there'd be nobody better than Louis to do it, because here we are on two complete opposite ends of the political spectrum, but yet we both love to laugh. We both understand how hard our business is. We both understand jokes and how hard it is to write jokes and to develop an act and get a crowd. And we're really good friends. We have a good time together. And so I thought he would be the best person to write my foreword, because it was such an opposite person. And so that's one of the reasons why we did it. It's like, you can still be polar opposites as far as politics go, but you don't have to hate each other.
Yeah, absolutely. I wish we had more of that, where we can just have a discussion and agree to disagree in a way and find common ground, man. I appreciate you coming on. I don't want to keep you too long. Larry the Cable Guy, thanks so much for coming on today. You can check him out. Good luck to you, brother.
Oh, I appreciate it. Thanks for having me on. Don't forget, get her done.
Get her done. You have a good one, man. I appreciate that. Larry the Cable Guy right there. You know what's great? I've interviewed a lot of people, and just a genuine dude. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show's your Twitter. Nationwide, check him out. If you're out in Arizona, check him out. Go see him. Good dude. Chad Benson Show.
Chad Benson Show, the only place so far that the Mueller investigation hasn't deep probed for collusion.
Redacted! Redacted!
Stay tuned.
This is Chad Benson.
He's got a lot of people to the left wing, and they'll be running the government. He's not going to be running anything. If he ever got in, they'll be running the government. They've got people further left wing than what Bernie has.
See, Trump's trying to build the narrative, get out in front of it when it comes to Biden. He sees, you see the latest poll in Florida? I'm here to tell you guys, you may be Bernie fans, if some of you are, or you're Bernie believers, or he's done. And I think it could be as early as Tuesday night. He may hold on, but the reality is Tuesday, he's not going to win Michigan. I don't think he's winning Michigan. And he is... Get ready for this, kids. He's at like a 12% in Florida. Bloomberg's at 14. Biden's at like 62. Think about that for a second. Just soak that up. Right now, Biden has got a lead in Michigan by about 7 points. He wins that. I just don't see any opportunity. Because as Michigan goes, so will probably go Ohio, Pennsylvania. Oh, yeah. That's the way that's going to go. But as far as painting him further left, no, he is not further left. Let's be real for a second.
Joe Biden, his tax increases they're staggering. It's ridiculous. He'll destroy everything that's been built.
Again, what's he going to do tax-wise? What are any of them going to do? Remember, take away, you're the president of the United States. So these laws, whether it's tax, these things, they have to be passed. You can suggest all kinds of stuff. That's why I continue to tell people, if Bernie became the nominee and then eventually the president, the chances of him getting anything through is slim to none. Oh, he'll be able to undo a bunch of executive orders that Trump has put on, and he'll be able to do some of his own executive orders. But as far as big stuff, it's not going to happen. It's just not going to happen. It's not. So, but trying to paint that picture, and that is what he's so good at doing, which is painting a picture, designing a picture of you for everybody else to look at. I don't know what Biden would be like as president. I think Biden would be like 2.0 Obama. I think he'd be boring. I think he would say and try to do some things. I don't think much would come of it. I think it would strengthen Obamacare a little bit, try a little bit here and a little bit there. But the reality is it wouldn't be too dissimilar than what we saw with Obama. That's the reality of that. Bernie would like it totally different. But that's not going to happen. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson shows your Twitter. Feel free to tweet at me. You can text the program as well. Love hearing from every single one of you. This is the Chad Benson Show.
This is the Chad Benson Show. Independent thoughts, independent life. This is Chad Benson.
Joe and I have very different voting records. We have a very different vision for this country. And you will see that now that it's a two-person race come out pretty clearly.
It is a two-person race. Here's the good thing. I just have a sneaking feeling that this race, come this Tuesday, it will be absolutely no doubt who's going to win this thing. I don't think Bernie last night. So he was here in Arizona and he delivered his speech that he gives over and over and over and over again. It's the exact same thing over and over and over and over and over again. And I look and I say to myself, God, you can hear how hollow it sounds. I think he knows that it's over. I think he knows. The ceiling. You know, it's like you ever watch sports and sometimes you look at somebody and they'll tell you, like, look, this guy's raw. Or this guy's got this, but he's kind of unrefined, and his ceiling is much bigger. Where this guy he's got all the things he's going to do right now, and he may be better at this, but he doesn't have that. This is as good as it's going to get. For Bernie, it's that. This is it. His ceiling was only X amount of people, and that there wasn't going to be any bigger. And he didn't do anything to grow it. And I think that's more and more evident that you see that, like last night, again, he did a speech last night that he does over and over again, but it was just hollow. It was just hollow. That was it. There was nothing. It's, normally there's some energy and stuff. You could tell he was going through the motion. And we're here in Arizona, and he delivered very little about immigration. Very little about immigration. And, he went after Joe a little bit, but you could hear he knows. He knows. So what's next? What's next is Idaho, Michigan, Mississippi, Missouri, North Dakota, and Washington. Michigan is it. Right? You're talking about 125. You've got 147 delegates, but 125 are allocated as far as the results for the state. Right? And then Washington State, I think, got 89 or so. But that's the big one. And then the following week would be, next to Super Tuesday, the next biggest. You've got Arizona in there, but you've got Florida. Florida's the big one. You got Pennsylvania. Florida, he's done. He's down by 50 points in Florida. Why is that? I don't know. Continue to praise Fidel Castro to people who escaped Fidel Castro. Even a younger generation of people who didn't live under that regime, who are more liberal than their parents, look up at their parents and say, I know what that guy did to my parents, and I know what that guy did to my grandma and grandpa, and I know what that guy did to that country. So even though they're more liberal, they're like, no, not going to happen. He's done. And if he gets blown out in Michigan, which is always a possibility, what then? And I think the other thing was, it was a gut punch yesterday that she didn't endorse. She didn't endorse. And I think that was an issue for him. I really do. I think that was an issue. She came out yesterday, Warren, and, talked about getting out of the race. And, it didn't work for her.
I was told at the beginning of this whole undertaking that there are two lanes. A progressive lane that Bernie Sanders is the incumbent for, and a moderate lane that Joe Biden is the incumbent for. And there's no room for anyone else in this. I thought that wasn't right, but evidently I was wrong.
Yeah. Well, because that's the way it works, right? There was those lanes. Lane here, lane there. And last time when Bernie ran, it was pretty easy. Bernie was by himself. I mean, he was on the Autobahn and nobody else was allowed on it in his world. This time, Bernie had brought people with him. And the party was having its own battle and people were swaying over to that. So he had some serious issues there because all of a sudden he had a traffic jam. She was over there, and then she was, and not only was she over there, she was also an establishment version of what he was. She was the McDonald's version of progressivism. So she got a little bit more love in pub. But then Bernie's people came on strong and she started to waver. Some of the stuff that she had plans for were being called out. And when she became the front runner in the media's world, they started asking serious questions and she crumbled. Not a lot you can do. right? So she tried to move more towards the middle, and she found out over on the other side it was even more traffic, and people saw right through that. Is what it is. But I think that hurt him. I think he thought she was coming aboard. 323-538-2423. At Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Feel free to tweet at me. Love hearing from you. So he was going to go, Trump, to the CDC. Then he wasn't going to go to the CDC. And now it looks like he's going to go to the CDC.
We may go. There was, they thought there was a problem at CDC with somebody that had the virus. It turned out negative, so we're seeing if we can do it.
Yeah. So what's going to happen? He's already signed the bill. He was going to have a bill signing there about the coronavirus and the funding for the the $8.3 billion for the coronavirus funding. Now he's not going to go there. That he is going to go there. So he was worried about exposure. And look, he's a germaphobe. So know that he's a bit of a germaphobe. It bugs him. So that was also something as well. But he is now apparently going to go. Not quite sure. He was, maybe, could be, not quite sure. I don't know. He continues to double down on all kinds of weird stuff.
A lot of people are staying here, and they're going to be doing their business here. They're going to be traveling here, and they'll be going to resorts here, and, you know, we're in a great place.
So that's the upside of it. Like, hey, this is going to be great for everybody because nobody's leaving, and we're all staying.
People are staying here and spending their money here as opposed to going to Europe and other places.
Yeah. Well, just look. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. Like, it's good that, you know, I mean, and look, Trump is trying to do what? He's trying to not alarm, but I think he should be wary of alert. But you're also you're in the middle of a campaign season. The economy, which at least as of now is still strong. We created 53,000 jobs or 273,000 jobs last month. They thought it was going to be 175. So almost 100,000 more jobs. Unemployment ticked down a little bit. People still feel okay about it. Doesn't mean that that's not going to change in a month when the next jobs report comes out, because there will be some stuff felt.
If you think about when it started to hit, it might have been the last week of February, a little bit of it started to hit the U.S. or things started to get canceled, but these jobs are already in place. So it's the March report will truly start to see some of this.
Yeah, and we'll look at that. What does it look like in March? Right? They predict 150,000, 160,000, and there's 80,000. And if it delivers at or just a little above what they predict, I think that shows how strong the economy's actually rolling. And between now and the end of the month, let's remember, we have a short attention span. And while the coronavirus is front and center right now, and it's 24/7, and it's a political issue on top of a health issue, between now and, next week, we're on to something else because we have the attention span of a gnat. 323-538-2423. At Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Feel free to tweet at me. You can text the program as well. Love hearing from all of you. Lightstream. So credit card balances. Many of you out there are carrying balances that you shouldn't be carrying and paying interest rates that are just ridiculous. Let me get you over to my friends over at Lightstream. So easy to lower your interest rate and save with Lightstream credit card consolidation loan. You can get a rate as low as 5.95% APR with autopay. They deliver. They deliver amazing. Let me tell you something. If you got decent credit, you're going to love this. Saving money, lots of it. Taking stress off yourself. You can get a loan from $5,000 to $100,000 with absolutely no fees. And you can get it sometimes as early as the same day you apply. And you can do it right from your phone. That easy. Just for being my listener, I'm going to save you money. How? Simple. Go to lightstream.com/Benson. That's lightstream.com/Benson. Subject to credit approval. Rate includes 0.50% auto pay discount. Terms and conditions apply. Offer subject to change without notice. Visit lightstream.com/Benson for more information. Chad Benson Show.
out our Chad Benson Show Facebook page where you can hang out or hang your grievances out to dry. This is Chad Benson.
I do think that if Joe's the front runner, which you'd have to say he is right now, that he needs to shore up his support among young people in particular, and I think that his running mate might be an opportunity to do that.
And Latinos, too?
For better or for worse, Joe's support and Bernie's support are almost like mirror images of each other. So you need someone who can attract many of the same Latino voters and young people that Bernie's attracting.
So AOC would be actually a good choice, except that she's a Bernie person. She's also not old enough. She's not as a VP?
The Constitution has a minimum age for president, and it's conceivable that the vice president is going to be president.
Yeah, especially when the president's 107. Oh, yeah. Just people listen to Joy, and she's no idea. It's like, really? You didn't know? Well, maybe you don't know how old she is, right? Like, does anybody know how old she is? I think she's 29. She's 30. She just turned 30. So here is who I think, if Joe's going to pick. Kamala's obviously at the top of the list. And Stacey Abrams. Even though Stacey's not, for those of you guys who don't know who Stacey Abrams is, she is a politician from Georgia. She served in the Georgia House of Representatives. She was the minority leader there. She ran for governor. It was an ugly situation there. She ended up losing by about 50,000 votes. There was a lawsuit, all kinds of stuff. Kemp, and they battled back and forth. And she delivered the State of the Union address last year, the rebuttal. They think highly of her. So, and she's a female. She's African American. She's from the South. I think that is a possibility as well. But those two, and what do Kamala and her have that Joe doesn't have? For the lack of a better, they've got time. They're younger. And to appeal to that group, you're going to, this matters. People say, no, normally running mates matter very little. They don't. Usually you're trying to win a state, and you'll take that state that you need, and maybe you'll add somebody from that state. I don't think that's a big deal here. But because of the age of the candidates, that's absolutely a big deal for a lot of people. Because fair questions being asked about Joe. I was just walking through the newsroom. Sports guys were asking me about this. The sports guys. They're like, they worry. A couple of them are like, I like Joe, but I don't know. He's going to be older in his first term than Reagan was when he left office. And they worry about that. Because if that was your grandpa or your dad, you'd be like, I don't know if dad should drive anymore. And so there's some questions out there that are fair to ask. You can ask questions about, people ask questions all the time about whether Trump's crazy or how unhealthy he is. They say stuff like that. Those are fair questions to ask, but you got to ask them both ways. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Poll question today: coronavirus. You changed anything? Are you washing your hands more? Right? Are you avoiding crowds? What are you doing? Have you changed anything? 18% say yes, they've changed. 45% said no, they've not done anything. And I think a lot of people, it's this one. 36% say a little. They're making small changes when it comes to just maybe washing their hands a little bit more, not touching doorknobs, putting on, if you got Lysol, you're cleaning everything a little bit more, but they're not putting on the masks that don't work and avoiding everything. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Where would you like to be right now? The post office? No. Or doing your job. And guess what? Time is money, kids, right? So you don't want to be at the post office wasting not only your time, which is the best currency of all, and you can't get that back, and your money. That's where Stamps.com comes in. I use it. My company uses it. We love it. We ship our stuff with it. It has made everything so much easier. We used to look at each other and go, I don't want to go. No, you go. I don't want to go. No, you go. Now with Stamps.com, we don't have to worry about that. It brings all the services of the U.S. Postal Service right to your computer. Whether you're a small office, you're sending invoices, online selling, shipping products, whatever it is, guess what? It's right there. Whatever you can do at the post office, you can do with Stamps.com 24/7. Any letter, any package, any class of mail, anywhere you want to send. It's that simple. Do it right there. You can just hand it right to your mail carrier. There you go. Plus, you're going to be saving money with Stamps.com. 5 cents off every first class stamp and up to 40% off shipping rates. What? 700,000 small businesses use Stamps.com. Stamps.com is truly a no-brainer. Right now, my listeners, get this special offer. 4-week trial plus free postage and a digital scale without any long-term commitment. Just go to Stamps.com, click on the microphone at the top of the homepage, type in Chad. That's Stamps.com. Enter Chad. Chad Benson Show.
The Chad Benson Show.
Independent thoughts, independent life. This is Chad Benson.
I provoke strong opinions. I didn't grow up thinking about going into politics, but much to my surprise, was elected president of the Young Republicans. I got into law school. I thought I'm going to try to make a difference in people's lives.
She was different than anybody I ever met. I said, I really want to marry you, but you shouldn't marry me.
There is a set of expectations
women.
about a first lady. I violated them from the very beginning.
This is radical feminism.
Hillary's polarizing.
Emails blew up.
Bang. It played into all of the suspicions. She's so sketchy. Cold. You know, you get scarred up a little bit.
Could actually be crazy.
So that debuts today. That's the Hillary doc. But Bill, a lot of Bill in it. Talks about, struggles with Monica. He was stressed. Man, I was stressed out. Have you met Hillary? She stressed the hell out of anybody. So I was really stressed out. And there was this young girl, she unstressed me. Oh, Chad, you're a jerk. Just saying. I've seen some of it. I have to be honest with you. She's very closed up. You didn't think about this, right? Like, from a normal person's perspective, take away the politics of it all. She has lost touch with reality. And I'm not talking about mental capacity. You just don't live in a regular world. I always hear people, well, if we were regular, they're not regular people. Like, Trump's kids aren't regular people, right? Trump's not a regular person. Hillary's not regular. You and I are regular, right? But stars aren't regular, right? Like, LeBron's not a regular dude. He's not. I mean, yes, he's because of his fame and all that, he's just not a regular cat. Hillary, yeah, she lost touch with it, When you don't drive a car for 20 or 30 years, you lose touch. Like, the Queen's not regular. Like, oh, no, I'm not. She's not. She's not regular. So she lost touch in a lot of ways. And I think you watch it and you sit there, and if you're somebody who is, first of all, I'm not even talking about neutral. You could be a Republican. You can have disdain. You watch it. I think you understand a little bit more. It's like after Romney lost the election, there was a documentary that came out after him. His son's best friend documented all of the stuff behind the scenes in the run up to the election, including the election night. And when you watch it, you get a better perspective. And sometimes you think, where was that person? The one thing about Trump is, I think what you see in front of the cameras, what you get behind the cameras, right? I'm pretty sure that's it. With a lot of these people, I don't think they don't know anymore, right? What you see in front is, what you see behind. What do you see? What am I supposed to be? And I think after a while, you start to lose touch with who you really are. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Feel free to tweet at us. So you're down to 2 now, right? You're down to 2. You've got Bernie and Joe.
Everybody was totally convinced that Castro was the worst guy in the world. They forgot that he educated the kids, gave them health care, totally transformed the society.
All right, Chuck.
It's Chris, but anyway.
Chris. I just did Chris. I just did Chuck.
China is, if I'm not mistaken, they have made more progress in addressing extreme poverty than any country in the history of civilization.
Here in the state of South Carolina,
Nevada,
and Des Moines, in the state of Iowa.
For some reason or other, being very excited when Fidel Castro made the revolution in Cuba.
But exponentially better.
When Fidel Castro came into office, you know what he did? He had a massive literacy program. Is that a bad thing?
I got hairy legs.
In Moscow, people here also were extremely impressed by their public transportation system.
Mom, God rest her soul, although your mom's still alive.
We're a compassionate society.
No, we are not a compassionate society.
Ever regret labeling yourself a democratic socialist?
No, I am what I am.
We hold these truths to be self-evident. Men and women created by you know the thing.
you know the thing. The thing with it, you get it. You know the thing. You know what I'm talking about. You guys. So those are the last 2. And I know I'm going to get somebody who goes, what about Tulsi? Right? Look, God bless Tulsi. I'm going to throw it. Isn't happening. It isn't happening. So God bless her, but it isn't happening for her. So you're down to 2. 2. One is as divisive and as polarizing as the guy that's in the White House now. And the other one, in a very weird way, if he was to become president, could unite the country. You know how? Because he's boring. He doesn't evoke an emotion from people. He doesn't. He's just boring. Right now, when you have the media would love to see King Kong versus Godzilla. And that's Bernie versus Trump. And Trump would love to see Bernie, right? Because Trump has all the answers to Bernie's questions. And that answer is socialism, high taxes. You get where you're going with that. Also very polarizing, Bernie. I mean, you watch him, and he's a one-trick pony, comes out, does his thing, but he's polarizing as well. And it's very interesting. Joe's boring, right? Minus his gaffes. He's just kind of there. What's that mean? Well, eventually the dumpster fire is going to be extinguished, which is politics. And everybody's going to stop looking at it, and they're going to go on about their business. And through boredom, through no controversies, people start to get back to their lives where they're not fighting on Twitter anymore. Oh, you'll still have the fringe extremes. Those aren't going anywhere. But the average people just won't pay the attention that they give people now. Right? Everybody will go on about their business. And in a weird way, that's how this country will get united again. When somebody who comes in who isn't really a person evokes a lot of emotion from either side. You could take them or leave them. They're going to paint Joe as this crazy lunatic. I mean, I've even seen it the other day where they were trying to, he's further left than Bernie. Come on, guys. Let's just slow our roll. He's not further left than Bernie. The only person further left than Bernie that I see in modern politics is AOC. But outside of that, no. But through boredom, we'll stop paying attention to the dumpster fire. And we'll start going and talking about other things. Those other things that have nothing to do with politics. Kids, life, work, vacation, weekends, movies. I don't know what the media is going to do. Because the media Bernie comes out all the time and attacks him. The media wants you to win, Bernie, because you are excitement, because you'll rile up the other side. Joe's not. I said it yesterday. I'll say it again. Joe's meatloaf, right? He's mashed potatoes. He's comfort food. He's just going and getting yourself a nice meal that you recognize, right? He's your favorite pair of pants. He's not exciting. He's not a flashy suit. And because of stuff like that, yeah, guess what happened? Joe becomes less polarizing. And through boredom, we move on to other things. And I think that's the reality of if you want to unite this country, if that's really the goal, which I don't think people, to be honest, the higher ups aren't interested in that. They like keeping their bases hungry. They want to give them just enough to keep them going and rile up. But for the average person, us exhausted majority, if you're to think, how could we unite this country? It's going to happen through boredom. It is. It's going to happen through sheer boredom in politics. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Feel free to tweet at me. You can text the program as well. Bernie. What's he going to do with Elizabeth? That's the other big question right now. He needs, it's funny, Elizabeth is in the best position she's ever been in the history of her political career. She's never been in a better position because she's got everything in front of her. She's got two people fighting over her, two campaigns that are last standing. One of them is her friend. They say so, but they're friends. She's friends with both of them, but one of them is somebody who I think she probably at this moment in time agrees with a bit more, which is Bernie. And then the other side, you have the establishment, which she's really a part of. And behind the scenes, guess who's going to cut the best deal is the person that she's going to choose. Bernie's trying hard.
I would simply say to her supporters out there, of whom there are millions, we are opening the door to you. We love you to come on board.
Yeah. But Bernie, what are you offering? That's the big thing. Here's what the Democratic establishment machine can offer her. Opportunity. They can make her a star. They can say, Chuck's getting a little old. Oh, yeah? Yeah. Chuck is getting a bit old. That's interesting. They can let her kind of punch her own ticket. It's not going to be vice president. Both of these guys have to go with somebody younger and probably a person of color to appease their base. Is it Stacey Abrams? Is it Kamala Harris? Right? And Jim Clyburn is really pushing really pushing Biden in certain areas. And I think he's going to have a lot of say in that, as is the establishment. But she will be able to be somewhat of influence. And that is leadership. Giving her the opportunity to have leadership. Is there a place in the cabinet for? Yeah, but what would you rather be? Would you rather be the head of the Senate, or would you rather have a cabinet position? Those are the things. Bernie can offer potentially a cabinet position, and he can talk about some other stuff, but the establishment side can offer things that Bernie's not going to be able to. And she's got her feet in both worlds. So if I'm her, I'm going to take my time. By time, I mean, the next 72 hours or so. Maybe the next week. I don't think it's going to get out of hand. She may wait till Wednesday because we have big things, coming on Tuesday. So she may wait till Wednesday or Wednesday morning or Tuesday, Tuesday night. But she's got this opportunity now. So when you've got that kind of chip in the game, you might want to sit back and enjoy it. Enjoy the courting, right? Who doesn't want that? It's like an athlete that's become a free agent. And everybody's flying you around, and they're asking you to come to speak, and they're asking you, hey, we want to show you all the town. We're going to give you all these kind of things. They're courting her. She might as well enjoy it. 323-538-2423. At Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Computer systems, your car, those are new. Over the last several years, it's become everything. It's a standard. I've got two cars. I got an older car that I love to drive everywhere because I put miles on it. It's a great car. It's comfortable for me. And I got a newer car that I love to drive. One's got the computers. The other doesn't. CarShield covers both. CarShield is affordable protection plan starting as low as $99 a month for anything that you need on your car to protect your car in the case of the inevitable. Not the what if, but the inevitable, because over time something's going to go wrong because that's just the odds. Even though cars are lasting longer and better, it's still great to have that backup plan. That's where CarShield comes in. 24/7 roadside assistance. So rent a car for free while your car's in the shop. The shop is the shop that you choose. It's simple and easy. Again, rates as low as $99 a month. You got nothing to lose. Get covered by CarShield. They call them, explain to them exactly what you're looking for. They've got a plan and a price point that's right for you. 800-CAR-6000. Mention code Benson. Visit carshield.com and use code Benson. Saves you 10% right there. 800-CAR-6000. Use code Benson and save 10%. Or carshield.com. Code Benson saves you 10%. A deductible may apply. Chad Benson Show.
Being antisocial sucks. Hang with Chad's friends on Facebook, The Chad Benson Show. And if you just need some alone time, head on over to Twitter at Chad Benson Show. Either way, we can't wait to meet the real you.
Stupid. Best way to describe a lot of people nowadays. Case in point.
And why do you regret it?
Because everybody upset with me about licking the ice cream. Nobody want to buy it anymore. But I still love Bluebell, so hopefully they don't ban me from buying it.
Adrian Anderson also says he even lost his job all over that video.
I mean, because it was just a prank.
It was just a prank because you're stupid. What did he do? Adrian Anderson, he licked the Bluebell last year. Remember that? There was that phase for like a week and a half, a hot second, where people were going in places and they were licking food. He was the one who started with his little Bluebell ice cream lick.
Me and my friend thought about it, and then we ended up going to Walmart. We decided to do it, and then I knew I was going to pay for it, and so I ended up paying for it.
But what you did was ridiculous, right? So he's getting 30 days in jail. He's going to have to pay a $1,000 fine. Then I think he has to pay like $1,600 or $1,360 to Bluebell, the ice cream maker. I don't think he needs to go to jail, but he's an idiot. DA wanted more.
Jefferson County District Attorney Bob Wortham wishes he could have charged Anderson with a felony. Instead, Anderson is charged with misdemeanor criminal mischief.
This is a guy who the universe goes around him. He's 24 years old, and as far as I know, he doesn't have a job. What's he do all day long except go on social media?
Well, that's kind of a job now, but he doesn't have a job because of social media. And he really didn't he regretted it becoming something bigger, but he didn't regret doing it. But that's just the world we live in now. Everybody runs towards stupidity, people. I don't think he needs to go to jail for it. But here's something. Think about this for a second. What would it look like today with the coronavirus fears that if somebody went and did that? That's interesting. Very interesting. All right, check it out. Raycons. Do a little traveling this weekend. I'm taking my Raycons. Got to take them everywhere. I've got the E25. Super discreet. Really nice. Noise comforting. Be rocking out. Listen to my audiobooks, right? Taking phone calls, doing what I'm doing as I drive, and I love it. And it doesn't bug my ears. 6 hours of playtime, seamless Bluetooth pairing, more bass, compact design, great for noise isolating fit, whether you're taking calls, whatever it is you're doing. Built for audio sound, and half the price of all those other premium earbuds out there. Don't be foolish. Check out Raycons. On top of being half the price, I'm going to save you 15%. That's what I want you to do. Go buyraycon.com/Chad. 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 Check them out for yourself. You will not be disappointed. The best earbuds around, period. Buyraycon.com/Chad. At Chad Benson Show, Twitter, ChadBenson. I want to thank Larry Cable Guy for coming on today. Check out the podcast at chadshow.com. Quick RIP. Guy I worked with for a while in the world of radio, passed away today at age 70. Rest in peace, Bulldog. Have yourself a good rest of your weekend. We'll do it again next week. Night, Jack.
This is the Chad Benson Show.